Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out. With your hosts, Brandon, Collin, and Aaron. On this week's show, marbley. Ahoy.
Ahoy.
Full of pie and slightly sick, here we find ourselves.
Indeed. Under the weather.
But
together nonetheless.
Ah, yes.
Ahoy.
Ahoy. Are we always under the weather since it happens? I guess it happens around us, though.
Well, I mean, most of the weather does happen above you, you know, but most weather happens in the troposphere, the sphere that you are in. And so I guess it does happen around you, but today particularly so. Under the weather, cold Midwest Thanksgiving weekend festivities has brought about the runny noses and the coughing from everyone. So
yes, and we have no mute buttons, so that is
true.
Really makes it wonderful.
That is facts. Our mute button is diving to the left, like uh-oh, yeah. He went to the left, though.
It's a good thing.
That's good.
Also, a good thing that we have such an acoustically sound room to be in, so you can't even hear it when I do that. There's
definitely can't hear anything else happening in the kitchen. Oh. Wait.
It's a room where it's exclusively filled with hard surfaces.
You know, it's a challenge. It's all right. I also just realized the dishwasher is on. That's pretty. This is the level of professionalism that we have today, ladies and gentlemen. Appliances running. Along with noses, but hey, it's fine.
We should go catch them. See,
we should go catch them. Bomb.
Yes, yeah. Week of festivities wrapping up. It's been a cool, cold, wet, windy series of days. Yesterday was beautiful, but
it's true. On the day of turkeying, right? But it's all right. We have made it. We have survived. Mostly till today. Leftovers, surviving on leftovers and more pie than you can shake a stick at. It's, it's happening.
It's quite a lot of pie.
It is a lot of pie.
Very large stick.
Big stick, big pie. But, yes, I was reading yesterday, we talked about it a little bit, right? The most searched for pies in America, right? And this is a list that's distressing. Okay.
Hold on.
Let's see if I can find this again here.
Oh my gosh.
But there are some entries on this list that are perplexing. Okay. So, yes, here we go. The America's top Thanksgiving pies. Now, again, when Google compiles these things, right, it says searched for pies. Okay. Now, I don't know if that means... I don't know how much of this correlates to actually consumed.
Oh, like it's just like a measure of curiosity?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. Okay.
Now, I don't know if they're searching for the recipe, because it just says searched for. So
it's an unprecise metric for pie consumption, but probably might be somewhat close.
Nonetheless, though, we have some interesting candidates, okay? What? I'm saying.
I'm concerned.
So, there's a lot here that sort of makes sense, right? Maine apple pie. Or actually, basically the entire Northeast coast. Apple pie, right? Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut say apple pie. There's also a lot of pumpkin pie on this list. This makes sense, right? And then Pennsylvania, I need your help. I need to know what in the world a shoofly pie is.
Shoofly.
Yeah. Now, apparently it has molasses in it. But I hope that's not like the only ingredient. Right? Because straight molasses will just glue your teeth together and then that's it.
Could it be perhaps that you are unable to shoe fly whenever it's stuck in the molasses? Maybe. And so it's just made for what you can't do with it.
Does that mean that it's actually just fly pie?
It's just fly pie. It's just, you think it's pecan or raisins.
Turns out it's just fly.
Sky raisins.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So that one's a big confusing one. And then again, we have some more concerning pies, right? According to this list, Okay, I don't know how true this actually is, but the Tennessee, North Carolina area, it says buttermilk pie.
Oh.
I have worries about that.
That
right?
sounds like something out of the Great Depression. That's a 1920s pie,
right? Because when you click on this thing, it just says, yeah, it's literally just buttermilk, egg yolk, and flour.
Oh no!
With a little bit of lemon zest.
No,
like I guess there's some vanilla extract, but like this doesn't sound like a pie that you want to eat.
Oh,
right?
No. Okay, so I just searched this because I was curious. I was curious what this looked like. Okay, and the description actively says it is. I was right. Okay, it says it is one of the desperation pies made using simple staple ingredients. And now there's a whole world of pies that I didn't know existed. Desperation
Great
pies.
Depression pie, like the water pie, right? As a pie. I saw that. What was that guy? That fella that cooks the random recipes on TikTok or whatever, like the vintage recipes from the vintage cookbook.
He's so great.
Yeah,
he's so
that guy.
funny.
Was it B. Dylan Hollis? Right, that's his name. That guy's hilarious.
Yes.
So maybe, hey, buddy, can you do a buttermilk pie for us? Because I need to know what that is. Okay, we're gonna at you on this because I need to know what is it. Other ones include, we have a very stereotypical Southern variety here with the sweet potato pie.
Okay,
right? Florida is, of course, following the law. There says key lime pie. So I think that's mandatory. I don't think you get out of having key lime pie in Florida.
No,
I think it's like officially the law. Other ones that make sense. Texas, it's pecan pie. Although I think it might be pecan in Texas.
Pecan.
I think that's how it works. Confusingly, Louisiana's is Mississippi mud pie.
Oh.
And Mississippi's is just chocolate pie. So I don't know what.
Should somebody tell Louisiana?
I don't know. Like, hey guys, hey, you messed up a little bit here, right? Most of the other ones make sense. A lot of like normal pies you would expect, right? Cherry, apple, banana, cream. It's a little bit of a left field there. There's a banoffee pie somewhere.
Banana and coffee?
I guess. But here's where it gets worrying. Kansas.
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 You are on notice.
Right? It's just like, it says Frito chili pie.
Oh, no.
I don't think either the person making this list was just having a laugh, or Kansas doesn't know what pie is.
No.
And they're like, what, Frito pie? Yeah, I love Frito pie. And then that's it. They don't. I don't know.
Oh, no.
I'm a little worried.
That's absolutely atrocious.
One of my friends went home to Kansas for Thanksgiving, so I'm going to ask them when they come back. What did you have Frito chili pie? I must know the answer to this question. Yeah, yeah, that's a confusing one, right?
I don't even. Yeah, that's. I'm going to guess they didn't get the memo on what exactly they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, or they're just like, hey, it'd be funny if we put this.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what happened.
My hope is that was actually the third most searched pie.
It might be third favorite pie, Frito pie. That's most of the shocking ones, right? But I just wanted to bring this to your attention again, listeners. I need you to know that Arizona wants grape pie.
Oh.
And Kansas doesn't know what a pie is. That's what I wanted to make sure that we did. That's what I needed to know.
Well, I think have we done a pie breakdown?
You know, we might have, but I don't recall. I have to furiously search the thing here.
I don't. I'm searching I think I'd have to search with our other document. Maybe we have done this before.
Maybe. But while you're searching
go ahead.
Live on the internet, you go ahead and search. I would like to say that Shoofly pie also falls into the desperation pie category.
That's wild.
Right? It is in the list.
Okay.
There. So, but that's what it says. Crumb cake with pie crust is a post-Civil War invention when cast iron cooks cookware and stoves made pie crust more feasible for the home cooks. Right? So there's that. You eat it with your hands.
Oh no!
You just go for it. No fork required. Probably because it's molasses and brown sugar, and you literally can't cut it. Right? You can't.
Oh no!
How are you going to cut that? It's not possible.
Yeah, you just scoop that out and dig in.
You just pick it up and just go for it. Right?
Oh. No, I don't know about that. Yes, on episode 113, Alero of Theseus, back in 2021, we did our top 5 favorite holiday pies. We did our anti-establishment pie for some reason.
Who knows what that is? But there we go.
And for those of you wondering,
see if the list still holds here.
Okay,
list review
of our own. We're reviewing a list that we made of a review. So Brandon's, we did our top 5. So Brandon's was a strawberry rhubarb pie, then a banana cream pie, then a cherry pie, then number 2 is lemon meringue, and number 1 French oak pie.
You know, I'll stand by that list. That's a strong list.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good about that one.
Yep. Collin's number 5.
He put chili Frito pie.
I was a little bit of Kansas because for 5 I put pot pies. Number 4 was pumpkin pie with whip, specifically. Then I did an apple crumble pie. Number 2 was a key lime pie, and then number 1 was a peanut butter pie. Now, having just had a bunch of cherry pie.
You changing your?
There may have to be some things moved around in that list just a little bit.
Has been made,
but that's okay because I think at the time we had discussed how our number 1s were more along the lines of like not something we don't have all of the time, but like when we have that option, we always choose that.
That sounds like something we would say. Yes,
that was what we did with that. Yes. Also, interestingly, back in November of 2022, I still had consumption while recording in my office. So
well, there you go.
That's good.
Some things never change.
Some things never.
Right. Under the weather again.
It's always, we did our, yes.
One of these days we're going to get Collin over the weather. It's going to happen. Right.
I'll fly above it and I'll be all for the better.
Yes.
Of it. So.
Indeed. So that it
Oh.
Well, but not today. That's what.
No. Today is not that day.
Indeed.
And that's perfectly fine. We will survive. We'll survive. Isn't that right? Right.
Okay. Good. Well, other exciting events from over the weekend, listeners, we'll just clue you in on what we've been up to here. Collin, have you sufficiently recovered from your yesterday activities? Right. Right. After filling Collin up with pie, it was time to do heavy manual labor. Right. That's what we were called to do yesterday.
But not just any normal manual labor. No, we weren't moving furniture. We were not doing anything of that sort. But we were, in fact, doing an antenna raising.
Indeed.
An antenna raising.
Flush with pie. Basically, Dad was like, I was going to rent a bunch of machinery and stuff, but then I remembered you were coming. So
while I have you here, let us step outside and... your main goal, make sure this just doesn't fall and break. So, yes, we raised a ham radio antenna number dos for him. And sure. But this one's cool. It has it's a directional one. It has a little motor at the base, so it can pivot, it can swivel from side to side.
You can aim your radio waves.
Aim your beams where they're supposed to go. And where they're not supposed to go to.
Oh, no, don't do that. Don't put them there. This is a disclaimer, FFA. We would never do that.
Is it FFA or FTC?
FAA, I think.
No, is it FAA, the airlines?
Yeah.
FCC is in charge of the
I think it's FAA because you'll bounce it right off their plane and they'll be like,
okay.
no, stop that.
One of the F's. That's what we'll say. It's federally regulated. And there's somebody to oversee it for sure. But mostly we didn't break anything, which was good.
That's true.
It was only exhilarating a handful of times as things almost got caught.
That's true. But the tree moved, so it's fine.
The barn did not move, so we had to move.
That's true. We had to pause slightly for that. It was a bit more stubborn than the tree was. Yes. Shockingly, I know.
Crazy how that pans out.
Right? What? Oh dear.
Are you fully recovered from it?
I think so. I don't seem to be, as I angle my body this way and that in the chair. Yep. Nothing seems to be particularly strained or broken, so that's a good sign.
Doing a full check.
Yeah,
full service check.
Good to go for now. Later, we have to go home, recover, and get ready for Thanksgiving Part 2.
Part 2, yeah.
Part 2.
How do you dive in as head first, or do you take a lighter second Thanksgiving?
Well, yeah, I don't really. My plan is to not just go crazy, right? Not to go too ham, as they say. But, dude. Slightly different fare, right, at the other locale, right? So just mix it up a little bit here, see how it goes. A lot more people, too, so you have to be a little careful about, and make sure everybody gets some...
Taking all of the food.
Yeah, I don't want to take all the food, right? Gotta be polite, right?
Fair enough.
Just steal it all out from under you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, pretty much. So, we'll see how that goes, but should be all right.
Okay. Yeah, and then we'll be relaxing afterwards. No part 2 dose for us, but it'll be okay. So yeah, this was a weird week getting prepared for Thanksgiving. I don't know how your week before Thanksgiving feels, especially from the education side. Sure, because you can't. Another one of those. I can't get too far along with things. I've got to kind of pace this a little bit differently.
Yeah, you have to definitely aim for like a stopping point, right? You have to aim for like, okay, we need to get to this part. That's what I did this time, right? Because there was some things that I want to do, like the next assignments and the projects, right? We can't start them on those. Like my school still does the old, we're going to go to school Monday and Tuesday and then be off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, well,
just take the whole week.
Everybody else is now. So just go for it, right? But that makes it extra hard because you're like, I have to do a thing because they're already going to be like wound up and crazy. And so if you do nothing, it makes it worse. So we have to give them tasks to focus on and things to do, things to accomplish. But it can't be like too, like, you don't want to make too much progress because then you're out of whack for when you come back. Because what you can't do after 5 to 6 days out of school is like, all right, remember what you did last week? No, nobody remembers what they did last week. They barely remember on a good day. So like after like a whole week off there, no, that's not how that works. So we got to get that kind of sorted and aimed. So we had to do some filler days, right? We had to talk about some stuff in science about like New Madrid fault zone, everyone's favorite intercrustal seismology, right?
Yes. It's the intercrustal specifically that makes it the best topic.
It makes it more interesting, right? To focus on some of that and just to give us some break because when we come back, we have to start like a new thing, and so they don't want to again do like an intro and then be off and then come back and be like, okay, now start. Like, no, that's not going to work out. So
ease back into this.
Ease back in a little bit with some stuff, and same thing with history time. We have to. We're gonna when we come back. We're going to do a thing and get ready for like a small presentation, right? So we had to just do some cleanup stuff here and there before some review things and stuff like that to make sure that we don't stop because what I always do is like we read a chapter, right? And then we introduce the project after that because it's about the section in the book, right? About like contributions and inventions and things like that. But what you definitely can't do is read a chapter in the book and then be off school for 6 days. And then go, yes, let's do our presentation about what you read. They're gonna be like, I didn't read. What?
Yeah.
What's a book? Where are you? Where am I? What's happening?
I don't know anything that you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but it worked okay. We found a good. I just sort of lucked out, really. I think with like where we stopped. So it was good. We were able to maintain. So we should be able to hit the ground running when we come back. They'll be real excited that they have to like sit and read a thing. It's not very long. It's like a page, right? It's not like when I say book, it's like.
Sure. There's a reading assignment.
Yeah, a reading assignment. But luckily it'll be light for them. But we'll come back, make them do that. That'll be a solo reading assignment, I feel like. Especially after come back from all that stuff. We need some time to recenter and remember how school works, right?
Not throw them back immediately into a group of people.
Give them some time to reestablish, be like, oh yes, there are rules here. We have some expectations we have to follow. So reestablishing that after a break is tricky / difficult because I always think about like, I don't know, I just expect that you would remember how to do it. Right. But then I have to remember, oh no, you're 12. I have to remind you what to do.
Right. Well, and this is their first time experiencing this sequence of things in this event. Right. So that's in this context. So it's not for you. So it's kind of, I'm sure that it's going to remind like, nope, this is they don't know.
Yeah. It's a little tricky to remember that sometimes. I forget. Right. And I have to be like, oh, I don't think I told you about that specifically. Right. Like, I didn't say don't do this exact thing or please do this exact thing. And so I have to go, oh, hey, please do this exact thing. Like I have to. So that's a little tricky to remember how to navigate just around that idea of how that works because I just take for granted that people know what I want them to do sometimes, but they don't.
Yeah.
But they don't.
They don't.
So.
No, they can't. They're not mind readers.
No. Which I should remember because I'm not a mind reader either. And sometimes they tell me things. And I'm like, whoa, what? What are you talking about? Like, you know the thing. Like, I don't actually know that because why would anybody know that? I don't know.
We have to remind our staff constantly of like, if you don't tell us, like, no one's going to know. Like, no one will know anything if you don't speak up about it. And so when we are surprised by things, sometimes it's quite frustrating because we're like, look, if you just would have told us, like, that's all this would have taken. It's a 4-word sentence maybe or something like that. That's all this takes. And we clear everything up.
True.
And same thing with us. Like, okay, like we really do have to be explicit in how we state their expectations going into this of like, no, it's not just look at the notes. It's okay. In the notes, you're going to find these directions. Do those specific directions.
Directions are hard though. Like you got to read them. But who wants to do that?
Yeah, well, it's tough because you want to give a lot of. It is a balance of giving a lot of information and being giving them enough information, but also not overloading them so that they start to skip over things and just try and guess to what's going on. But also it's like, well, I don't want to give too little information and then have them be completely out of the loop, but I don't want to overload them with information so that they just kind of go yada, yada, yada and scroll through.
That's true. That's not helpful at all in the slightest. So, it's hard, right? Especially with small children because now like all we can think about is Christmas break, right?
Oh. Which
is like a month away. So they're thinking like, more off school time. And I'm thinking, more off school time now.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Cause you got that looming. Oh, that must be coming back from the Thanksgiving break is just a little tease for what's about to come.
Yeah. So trying to figure out like how, because now I have a lot to accomplish in seemingly not a very long amount of time. And so pacing becomes difficult, right? I have to try to get things lined up, right? My pacing is going to be slightly off because I accidentally have like 2 big projects happening at the same time. Right? So, like, not big, I guess, but we have to finish our monthly challenge thing, but we're also getting ready to do like a class project for like in class. So, whoopsie daisy.
Do you find that you have to change how you present content or stuff to make it more engaging during this time of year, or is it you just kind of stick to how you normally do things? And
no, not really, right? I don't. At least if I do, I don't do it. Like I don't think about it, right?
Sure,
I don't do it consciously. But I don't think so, right? We just do our thing.
You're not like, okay, now after I come back from Thanksgiving, all the slides are gonna have like flashing lights and like scroll bars.
No. They're just gonna be try to keep some level of consistency all the time, right? Still do our notes the same way. Still tell really bad jokes in the middle of class,
Perfect.
Right? Still do assignments. Consistency, right? That's the important part. So we got. But yeah, still have to. That's the thing. I have to do that, and then I have to figure out. I haven't like finalized my December like monthly challenge thing, which like is also hard because it's not a very long month, right? If I look at my calendar here, I only really have like just a little bit of time, like 3 weeks maybe. 1, 2, yeah. So I don't actually remember what day we get off. So that'll be that. So I have to do something, but I don't want to make it too outrageous. But I have to figure out something to put there to keep my plan chugging along.
Sure.
Right. So I don't know what it's going to be. I've been trying to balance them between like making things and like doing some sort of like research based endeavor. Right. So it's the research based time. So I just need to find some sort of small-ish thing
right
to put in there.
Yeah.
So they have something to do when they do have free time, and we can keep this established plan happening, but like I don't know what specifically it should be. Right.
Now, in times past, these challenges typically haven't had to do anything with the current content that's right, or is it?
Well, sort of, right? Okay. Like sometimes a little bit, right? So, or it's some of it, because the last research one we did was about like current content-y stuff, right? So it just made it slotted in really nice with how we did it. So I don't know if it should be something like that, or if it should be a little more like free for all-y, or if it should be, I don't know exactly. So I don't know. I don't really know. Kind of stumped as to what to do, because I want to still be like useful, right? But I don't want to make it just like boring. Otherwise, they definitely won't do it. So,
well, you should have them. You should have them because you're in seismology. You're learning about crust and stuff. You should have them. Have them rank their favorite layers of the Earth.
Oh, well,
do a power ranking of Earth layers, and they have to defend their answer.
Perhaps we could just do since it's like the end of semester, we could do like a semester review. Like, what is your favorite thing that you've done so far, or favorite topic so far this semester?
Yeah, that would be it.
Because that could be nice and short, right? And it would be like, it's this. Here's why. Something about like, how is it useful for like understanding the world or something? That's what earth science is all about.
Okay.
Right? Knowing how the world actually functions.
Yeah.
So that you can combat people on the internet that tell you it's flat. You
Look.
can-
I talked to you about the firmament again.
No.
And why spaceships don't work. They're not real.
Of course.
Yeah. Sure, fine. You could do that, or power ranking of Earth layers.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay, there's not that many layers to rank, though.
What? There's like 7,
I mean,
5?
no.
Depends on.
well, it depends on how in detail you want to go.
Yeah.
Right. You do have the big 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Outer core or inner core, outer core, mantle, crust.
Okay.
Right? You do have technically like sub layers, like a stenosphere.
See?
Okay.
Now we're talking.
Everyone loves the stenosphere.
Yes.
But like, do you love it enough to put on your power ranking? Right.
Lithosphere. I know that one.
Well, I mean, lithosphere is just crust plus a stenosphere.
See.
Right.
Well.
So
you don't. You could. All I'm saying is it's an option.
I mean, it is an option, but like, it's just. I don't know if that's a good enough plan.
Fine. Okay, one better one. Top 5 minerals. We go.
Oh, I mean, that's true. We are getting ready to do rocks and stuff. So,
as an intro to that, well, I don't know if that'd give away the goose.
That's
too
true.
much.
Yeah, that's true because you don't want to be like, oh, it's going to be, because I don't want to introduce a thing that you have to do before we start talking about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That kind of leaves it a little bit more like, what are you
teaching
talking
ourselves?
about?
Yeah, it's hard for them. It would be hard for them to talk about that and write those. Yeah, in an intelligent way.
Yeah.
Because in a straightforward because they haven't been taught that.
Yeah.
They're just copying stuff off of Wikipedia.
If I'm like, hey, tell me about why you love marble, they'll be like,
yeah,
it's marbly.
very marbly.
You can, make things out of it, right? But the
allows you.
But the words that we want won't be there yet. So
Nope, unfortunately.
Like metamorphic,
Good
or
one.
heat and pressure. Look at that. There are other. My mind just went blank on the other metamorphic classification word. Or what? It either has stripes or it doesn't. There's an official science word for this. And it's just flown out of my brain. Right? But that one. Yeah.
Okay.
But that, where it's like, because it's, foliated.
Foliated.
Of course. Foliated or non-foliated. Obviously.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love a foliated metamorphic rock?
That's a good point.
Right?
It's a good point.
It's pretty good stuff.
Don't
I like it.
go. That's where we need to, as a country, we need to draw our boundary lines where they really matter.
Yeah.
As a society and choose.
Why nice is an underrepresented metamorphic rock, right? That's really the crux of the issue here.
When I say I'm a single issues voter, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what you're talking about.
I really want to know. I need to know how they stand on nice.
Nice is a how do you really feel about schist? Right. That's what I need to know. That's what I need.
Because how else am I supposed to judge your character until I know these things?
That's true.
So
that's fair.
That's what.
Right.
This is what the voters want to know.
Yeah.
Going into 2024.
Foliated or non.
Yeah. I expect to see this on ballots across America.
Okay.
Or not.
Or not.
It's fine.
Probably won't do that.
No,
but
it's okay. It's fine. There have been worse things in the world. So
there's been worse things on the ballots.
This is true. This is true. Oh my gosh. Well, moving away from politics, we Megan and I had a call this sorry
on those geopolitical issues.
Yeah. Oh, we did it. Oh, got him. You just gotta move past it. You push past the pain, and it'll be over soon. Just push past it. So, Megan and I did a phone call this week, and it was a continuation from a phone call that we had last week from somebody who's trying to sell us on some advertising.
Okay.
So we are a hyper geographically specific kind of service, making the other traditional forms of advertising like radio and TV.
That's true.
Not helpful because I'm like, wow, that's really cool. They can reach so far away. I cannot.
Yeah, I can reach X kilometers from this pin I drop in Google Maps.
Mm-hmm.
This is the radius of.
Mm-hmm. This is my radius. And no, you may not come to me. I only go to you. So
yeah, true.
Apparently, in extremely wealthy, well-to-do neighborhoods, maybe around golf courses, there is a magazine that they distribute to all of the residents of these places.
Okay.
And it is specific to that community.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. And
it sounds terrifying, if I'm being honest. Like, I didn't know.
It was described to us as a private Facebook page, but printed. Once a month, they get it. And they include like graduations. All of the content is generated by the residents. So
it's quality content.
Very high quality of like your grandma's pumpkin pie recipe.
Well,
or an article. I don't know what they would write articles about. Actually, we never asked him other than the recipes, because it's just coming back to what are people writing about?
How to remove golf balls from your gutters.
Right. Or how do we shun the outsiders? Like, it's really what I think is written about in these things
is how taller gates deter entrance from outside individuals.
Exactly. Look, we have electrified the sidewalks after hours.
It's 14 feet tall. It's more imposing.
Yes. To keep the plebes away.
Exactly.
So anyway, I actually never, because he was like, oh yeah, there's articles about graduations, and every new person who moves to the area gets a feature article about themselves and that issue to introduce themselves.
No, thank you.
To the rest of the people in the community. And anyway, there's the one here in our town where they are getting this magazine. It's just coming to them now.
Oh.
And
boy, what have they been missing? They're going to be so enthusiastic.
For 350 homes, they reached out to us and they were like, hey, do you want to be a sponsor of this magazine? And we were like, I mean, I don't not want to be. Tell me more. Because they're kind of our clientele, and we actually
targeted too.
Yeah, it's very targeted. We also already have one person in the community that is a client of ours. So, like, well, that'd be swell if I could get like 2 people out of this, or 3 people out of this. And dealing with this individual who is selling this has been. Oh, it's been a racket.
Oh, no.
So at first, he was like, no, I only want to meet in person to talk to you about this. And I was like, I can't do that. And he was like, is there anybody else who's going to be in the decision-making process? And I was like, yeah, my wife. And he's like, well, she's got to be there, too. I want to make sure I talk to everybody involved. And I was like,
This is sounding like someone who's trying to sell you a timeshare.
We'll just wait.
Yeah.
No timeshares involved, actually.
Okay.
But we scheduled a call, and we spent like 45 minutes with him. First off, he doesn't know how to use Zoom. He does not know how to use Zoom. It's terrible. It's very bad.
Maybe one of those 4 steps failed him. Right? Maybe he just decided to be like, nah, not working today.
Fine. I don't need this. This is not what I need in my life. And he spent 45 minutes, I think. Megan will probably correct me here if I'm wrong. Was it 45 minutes? Yes. Sorry, our in-studio
input
audience.
From the live studio audience was a thumbs up today.
Normally, I would have just texted instead of just yelled. Like,
we have to show that we're live.
Just paging from a PDF back and forth, being like, and this is what this page looks like, and this is what this page looks like, and this is what this page looks like, and talking to us about the revenue growth of the company that does the magazines. And I'm like, what a weird sales pitch to a potential advertiser.
Yeah,
basically,
what?
like, So you're telling me, like, sure, you did $124 million in revenue because it's a national thing, and they come into little.
Yeah, but
he was like, and we're growing really fast, and they gave a revenue dollar as far as they're going to pitch to us, and he kept saying things like, our residents love this. Our residents talk about this. Our residents do this. Oh, the other day a resident told me this, and blah blah blah. And this is how he blah blah blah. And I mean, we were very interested, and then we started to run out of time. And then I was like, well, I have to go because I ran out of time. And we asked him about time, and we said, can you email us your price sheet so we can review this? And here was his response. Oh yeah, I'd love to schedule another phone call with you to go over that.
What? Wait. Flags galore.
And it was like, but so because we're still interested in this, schedule a second phone call. And I'm like, we jump on, and I'm like, hey, I have to leave in 20 minutes. I only have 20 minutes. Go fast. And then he starts going to this pitch. And of course, now you have ads of all sizes, shapes, dollar amounts. Which one would you start with trying to sell?
The middle, right? You don't want to sell the smallest ad space available.
Mm-hmm.
You want to start talking about like the middle one. Like, here's our, like, this is the size. This is where we put it. It's going to be on, because they usually put them, like, certain ads go like closer to the front.
Yeah.
Right? Either do that, or you explain like, oh, they're just all in the back. Like sometimes they do that. They just put them all back there. So where it's going to be, is it like full page, half page, the small business card one? So somewhere in there, I would start talking about the most, boom, middle size ad, right? And then if you want full page, you can go up, or you can go down if you want smaller.
This would be a great sales tactic because you hit the middle of the road. And if they seem interested in that, you can immediately start upselling somebody on a more expensive ad.
Or if they seem slightly disinterested, you can go down and be like, well, we have these other ones, right? They won't be as visible, but they're still in the book. They'll still be seen. Mm-hmm. It's at this lower rate. It's over, whatever.
That would be a great sales tactic. No, we got hit out of the gate with the most expensive one.
The cover.
The cover, basically. Exactly.
Page one ad space.
Oh my gosh. And his comment was, he talked about it. And then the other thing is they have advertisements and they have sponsors. Originally, I started off by telling that he was going to reach out to us about sponsors. Turns out, actually, he doesn't have any sponsorships available, but he does have these other ads. And a sponsorship is an ad that is connected to particular content. So basically, if you wanted to sponsor the recipe of the month, your ad would go next to that.
Okay,
or if you want to sponsor the dog of the month, he has no sponsorships left of it in this. So I'm like, well, that's a little disingenuous.
Yeah. Lead with the thing you definitely don't have.
And then he starts talking about, well, we've got 12, 24, and 36. And, if you book 36 months out, you get a 20% discount over everything. And yeah, so you could buy an ad spot for 12 issues, 24 issues, or 36 issues.
Yeah.
And then I had a question where I was like, hey, yeah, how long have you been in this place doing this? To which he responded, oh, we haven't shipped our first one yet. Or they just got their first one. Remember all of those statements where he was talking about our residents love and I gave these things? What I realized then was, these are selling points from the magazine on total, across the country. These are the statements that they talk about of how to sell these things. Of basically, he should have said, the communities we're in love the XYZ. In our feedback surveys from previous places, this is what we get. And so that was an immediate knockdown. It's
more flags, flag on the field.
So then he talks to us about this ad, its size, how it's positioned, blah, 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 tells us the price. And then he goes, so what do you think about that? And I went,
gotta go buy.
Well, I'm like, that's not how I make decisions.
I don't left the call.
I don't make them one by one. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. can I see the next one? And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, but like regardless of price, like, what do you think about that? What do you think about the size and position? We were basically like, we could fill it. Yeah, it's a lot of space.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, let me tell you about the next one. It was slightly less expensive. And then he started saying, oh, well, and because it is coming up on Thanksgiving, I was told I could give you guys a special Thanksgiving discount where if you buy one size, you pay the price of the size below it. And I could do that for you guys going into this, just so you know. And I was like, okay. So he starts talking about the next one. And then he walks us through position, location, size, price. And then he goes, so then he goes, what do you think of that?
I mean, still not helpful.
I was like, man, that's great. Okay,
those are also numbers, I guess.
Numbers. Yes, and he did this for every size class.
Oh my!
All the way down. From it was back cover, back page, like back of the cover thing. Then it was a full page on the front cover, and then full page somewhere in the middle, and then 2/3 page, half page, quarter page, or third of a page, and then quarter page. And for everyone, he was like, "What do you think of that side? Regardless of price, do you think that's something like? How does that speak to you?" I was like, I don't
what does
that
even mean? I don't.
And you start saying, oh well, typically companies who do a full page, they're right or wrong, it doesn't matter, but like they're typically viewed as being more like established and like more in the community when you have this full page, and this whole time, Megan and I are desperately trying, I just trying to collect information. I'm not trying to emotionally pick on something.
Yeah.
But he keeps trying to get us to start talking about emotionally. What do you feel? How do you feel about a half a page emotionally? What does that make you feel like?
Do people have strong emotional feelings about the size of advertisements?
Apparently.
I mean, I don't. I mean, in a printed work, obviously, last week I discussed my emotional frustration with advertisements that are too small outside of the road. So I do have emotional attachments to the.
That's a utilitarian purpose.
Yeah, it's true. But that's a weird. This is a very odd sales tactic. I don't understand the goal. Right?
He's trying to do so when you go to buy a house, what is the first what is some of the questions the realtor asks you?
I don't remember.
Okay. The realtor asks you, they don't ask you, do you like the layout? They don't ask you that.
Yeah.
What do they say, would your furniture fit in here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, would this room, would that fit the dresser that you have? They start trying to get you to imagine your stuff in the home start talking about.
To emotionally invested already in the spot.
And they will actively try and get you to start using the words your home.
Yeah.
And do you think your home would be like this? Do you think, and all of a sudden you're like nodding your head and you're like, yeah, my home, my home. So that you leave going, oh, wow. I felt such a connection with that. And really it was just a guided, like mind control experiment with the well-trained real estate agent. But you leave thinking you had all these great ideas, and really it was the real estate agent going
planting them in there.
Exactly. So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get us to get emotionally attached to these ads and ad sizes, which is just ridiculous because it's like I can make something to fit or not fit. Like it's just that's not an issue with this at all. And then he kept trying to connect with us on weird things because he's like, he said, one of our residents told me, and then again, I don't believe this story because again, he hasn't been in this. But he said one of our residents said, "Don't use the word subdivision because it has the word divide in it. We're a neighborhood." And then he asked us, "Do you live in a neighborhood or do you live in kind of city or further out?" Again, he's trying to get us to, and I was just like, what did I say? I said the houses are kind of close, but not really.
Our house, it's in the middle of a street.
Yeah.
Right? There's 2 cats in the yard. The life used to be so hard. Right? I feel like it was
How could one little street?
That's true. Swallows. Wow, that's a much darker song.
Yes, it is. Yes. But so anyway, so he's going through this, and then Megan has a genuine question of like, will an ad always be in the same space? It's like a page, like
always page like 7 or whatever.
But to use the illustration, she jumped to a full page ad. She said, "Okay, if we get a full page ad, does this blah blah."
Oh, so he just heard full page ad.
He only thought in full page for the rest of the conversation.
Yes.
Because he was like, they gave me something. Yeah. They want full page. Yes, I've got him. So then he answered the question with the full page ad. And then he starts talking about, and then he slips in the hard sell of like, all of a sudden, there's somebody also interested in that full page ad.
Course.
Right.
There's another party conveniently involved
that I just, I need to bring up now. And just so you know, they're available. So, and then I asked, so when do you need a decision by? And you could tell his balloon was a little popped because I think he was ready to like have us decide
right now
on this right now. And he said, well, I mean, I am booking up spots and I'm contacting, 32 or whatever places a week. And, this is kind of a rare thing for me to do, which I think means the second follow-up phone call.
Yes.
So like, I just, but if I hear of them, if they want to start getting more interested in this, I'll definitely reach out to you so that, you can get that since that's what you want, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'm
sure, whatever.
I'm so done. And I was trying not to be just belligerent and rude, but also I was very annoyed by this entire process.
Well, yeah, that's a very terrible way to go about conducting a thing, right? Like it's not helpful. It's not informational. It's like bullying sales tactics, right? It's like all the shystery stuff, right? That you hear about, right? It's like very used car salesman-y.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that all used car salesmen are nefarious. Okay, listeners, not. It's okay.
No.
So I know this. It's just a stereotype, right?
It is. Except
for some of them are.
Except for some of them are. As portrayed, I think rather accurately in the docuseries Matilda, with yeah,
all right,
he had sand to it, so it weighs more. Anyway, or whatever he does. What does he do? What does he do with sand? He had sand to something.
I don't remember.
Oh, this is going to bother me now.
How do you Google that?
I don't know.
Matilda car salesman.
Matilda sand.
Matilda car salesman. I don't want to watch the GIF.
No, I don't think this is going to happen. No. Because apparently the Matilda 2 was a tank that had possessed a degree of protection that was unmatched in the North African theater. The sheer weight of the armor on the vehicle contributed to much of its success. So yes, this is so when you Google Matilda sand, you get a lot of articles about history buffs debating how good the Matilda 2 was or was not in sand.
They're all British, aren't they?
Yes.
The British seem to be very big tank enthusiasts.
Yes.
Right. I don't know why that is particularly, but like they're always the ones that show up in the forums and stuff talking about it. It's always like some British dude on a video talking about like some really hyper niche World War II tank something, and you're like, what? I don't know what's happening.
Yes. What did you
something about a car shop scene painting hood with a paint roller.
Okay. Well,
it's in the movie though. I don't remember this very much at all. But anyway,
so that's that. He mixes something with. Anyway, it's not important.
I don't.
It's not important. We'll find something out. But yeah, so we did not. So we got off the phone and was like, well, look. Don't call us. We'll call you.
No.
Enjoy. Oh, it was so bad. don't relish in this. And then the other day, I got a random phone call from this person.
Oh no,
from this person who said, it was like, "Hi, this is Kathy. Is this the owner of blah blah blah?" And I was like, "Hi, yeah. How can I help you? Hi, I got your card from this coffee shop, and I was wondering if we could get together for business networking purposes."
no more, no more networking. Run away.
She actually said,
Flee.
business networking purposes. And I was...
This is not a real human.
Oh
this is like a robot
gosh.
telling you.
So I did look up this person afterwards, and they are, in fact, an insurance salesman. She did say that. She was something insurance, New York Life or whatever. And I was like, ugh. And I went, well... this week's pretty busy, and it was actually Monday. I was like, this week's pretty busy. I could do next week though, and I continue to do next week because I'm going to be in and out a lot. And she was like, then all of a sudden she's like, oh no, I was thinking December 19th at 3:30 p.m. I was like, that is so. Here's what she's doing.
She has an event schedules, and she wants you to come, and she's going to put you at a table, right? And then there's going to be other people at the table, exactly. And then the one dude that calls you Larry guy is going to walk in the door, and then you're going to have to run out the back immediately, right? That's what's going to happen.
Just run away. Oh, no. God. Then I realized what she's actually doing is she's just blocking out a full week of this. She just went to this coffee shop, grabbed all of the business cards, and it's just cold calling these people and scheduling them in these little slots. I am so...
But why?
She wants to talk about business insurance and probably business liability stuff and probably yada, yada, yada stuff and things. And but yeah, as soon as she said business networking purposes, I was like, I'm out. Like, no.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen this tunnel here before. I can't.
What? How did we? I'm in the mountains. Oh no!
Oh no!
Not again.
People wonder why nobody will answer their phone anymore, right? This is why when my phone rings, if it doesn't say Susan on it, I'm just like, nah, I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not gonna bother with that one. This seems like not real. I don't.
Too much work, for sure. So yeah, and it's so annoying. So anyway. Yeah, so maybe you want to join me for some business networking purposes?
I don't think that would be very useful for you in your business.
Well, I guarantee you that this networking purpose is not going to be beneficial for me in my business either. True. So I'm going to, when I said I can pencil that in, because this is also on a very busy day for us where we're like trying to get things packed and put away and blah stuff. So I was just like, get this off my plate. I said, call me the week of. And we'll
see if I'm still available.
See if I'm best available. Spoiler:
he's not
going to be available. So we'll
just mysteriously busy with unrelated, things. Just unknowable.
So busy.
Yeah.
So busy.
Just say, oh yeah, I have stuff
and things.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's bad.
That's terrible. The cold call's got to be like the worst thing ever, right? Like,
and I guess in this day and age, it still works. But on the other hand, like, does it work? Like,
do
people not see this coming from a mile away when these people call them? And I'm like, or do they? I don't know. It boggles the mind.
I don't know. Because you get stuck between, like you talked about earlier, like you get stuck in this place of like you want to be nice, but also you don't care, right? And you're trying to balance this out between like, oh yeah, I'm trying to be cordial and I'm trying to be a nice thing, right? This does remind me legitimately of the time where we got stuck talking to a timeshare guy, right? Right, and so like we were just listening, right? Do the thing, and then like. we tried to leave and he like keeps talking and then like we're like no, and then they like ask you all these like probing questions about like why not, and you're like because I actually don't want a timeshare in Arizona, that doesn't seem interesting to me, and like they get
oh no.
So you just like you're just walking this really fine line where you don't want to be like, listen buddy, get out of my face, to like trying to still be like a cordial individual, it'd be nice, but you really just want to tell him to go jump off a cliff because you don't care about
yeah. It's like and that's when I have to tell that. So the ad guy is going to be calling us back to follow up probably this coming week, and I'm going to try and do the easy letdown. Usually I say something like, well, where we are right now with our ad spend, I don't think this is the best fit for us because of the direction that we're moving. But it is something that we'll keep in mind as that changes. And we do for future reassessments on a quarterly basis. I really appreciate you and your time.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Right. I'm going to do that. If he continues to ask, eventually it's going to get down to, because we don't feel comfortable buying from you. Right.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
I don't really like you.
I don't really like you.
Go away.
And I could also say things like, well, this is unproven in this market, this magazine. Like, who knows how it's actually going to be received here? Sure, it's worked. How many times has this
worked
magazine...
in Milwaukee,
exactly.
right? But like,
exactly, or North Carolina or whatever. So going, okay, how likely is it?
Undisclosed locations that you didn't tell us where you were, but that's cool.
Tell me about all the times that this company entered a market like this and then failed. Right, because it was rejected or not well received or people didn't participate. So, like, maybe after you've been at this a year, maybe we can revisit to see what kind of successes that you're having. But as of right now, we're not interested in doing an unproven marketing scheme.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm not the target audience for this sort of thing, obviously, right? Like just the way that I interact with the world doesn't really follow this particular line of thought. But like I'm already not the type of person that would live in a country club environment. But even if I was living there, if somebody was like, hey, I'm going to come write a thing about you for our monthly club newsletter, I would just be like, no, I don't want that. I don't like it. So I don't know how many other people are like that. Or if they're just like, no. Go away, man. I don't want...
Yeah.
Do they have to pay for this magazine? Are you going to drop it on their door for free?
It is free because of the advertisers. And so here's the other thing.
You know what I do with all the free magazines I get in my mailbox? I put them in the recycling bin.
Yes.
This is where they go. They go straight to the recycling bin. Bloop. Like, I don't even look at them. So...
Because that's my other thought, too, of... obviously,
I like nothing less than unsolicited mail, right? I don't want.
And these people are obviously extraordinarily wealthy. They know that they know that they're the target of many businesses. So, like, now I get another thing, marketing to me and advertising to me, like that kind of feels weird, doesn't it? So that's just how it actually is this received by people and what percentage of the households, because he's kept on talking up like, 350 households to get this and blah, blah, blah. But like, okay, statistically from your other areas, what percentage of the total number of houses are actually actively engaged in this? Oh, do you know?
Ooh,
right?
I bet no. I bet there's no market research on that. Because there should be a pie graph for that one. Mm-hmm. That should be a graph. Come on.
Because then suddenly, the $14,000 they want you to spend on the back cover ad,
excuse you,
doesn't really seem.
Did you just say $14,000 for an advertising?
It's for a year.
You can buy cars for less than that.
I
mean, maybe not in 2023 because the world doesn't make sense. But normally, this is car money, right? You could buy the van that you've been dreaming about.
Dream van
money.
Dream van.
And that is maybe not for that, but that money would be much better suited for a van.
Van life.
Yeah.
Yep. Basically, we're spending $40 per household to make something work.
There's no way the return on investment on that could be anywhere near useful.
No.
Right? Like you would have to get so many new clients out of that.
Yes. And then because
you could probably get from a much less cost effective advertisement, right? Or much more cost effective, I mean, like cost less. That's what I meant to say. An advertisement that costs less.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, like what we do, we make bespoke postcards, right? So we actually customize postcards, make sure that they're really nice, high quality, really nice appeal, good photos, send those out.
Yeah.
We send those to people. They're like $1 or less depending on what we do per person. I'd rather do that.
That does sound much better.
Yes.
And then van, right?
Yeah.
So,
and he kept saying things like, "Oh, I typically target people who've never advertised before, so they are usually only ever done word of mouth." And I went, "What kind of person who's never advertised before is going to look at $14,000 and go, yeah, that's what I need to do?"
A person that's never advertised before.
Oh no, he's talking. He works with suckers.
He does work with suckers. Oh no.
Because then he was in the example he was showing us. It was filled with dentists and real estate agents. And
why do you need a real estate agent if you already have a
because
country club real estate?
Because they want to be the one to sell your home when you go to sell it.
Oh, true.
So this is a long game of a real estate agent of going, okay, here's a house. It's $1.4 million right now. When they go to sell that, I want them to remember me so I can sell it. So I have to advertise them at all times. And it's, So and I was like, but that dentists and real estate agents, they advertise all the time. So what you just said is yet another lie. Like, right? Like
that's also true, right?
They're some of the most advertised people in the world, and doctors and lawyers and stuff. And I was like,
and lawyers, right? Bradshaw, right? That's what you get
exactly. Did you hear the real estate news that's making the world a buzz?
Oh. Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. Well, you'll be proud of Missouri because this lawsuit came out of Missouri.
Gasp.
Okay. So, National Real Estate Association, not the National Association of Realtors. There you go. Because I was like, NRA. No, not that one.
Not that one.
The National Association of Realtors. Is that what it's called? Fact check. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shrug shoulders.
That's fine. So they were sued by a bunch of people, and it was found that they were guilty of colluding to keep prices on houses high and
shocking
price fixing for the percent given to the sellers and the buyer's agent.
Wow.
So when you sell a home, you pay a 6% in real estate fees.
I was surprised that something like this would happen, but I'm not.
Yeah. So when you buy or sell a home, so the buyer, is it seller? Okay, seller. When you sell a home, 6% of your sale goes to real estate agents.
Yeah.
3% goes to the buyer agent. 3% goes to seller agent.
Yeah.
Okay. Easiest money a real estate agent makes in their life is when they're a buyer's agent because they do nothing.
Oh, yeah, true.
They do nothing, especially in the modern day and age where Zillow and all these other places work. Where like when we bought our house, I was the one on Zillow and like looking at the MLS and doing all this stuff, going, okay, we're gonna do this. But here's the thing: in order to list your home on the MLS, you have to agree to the National Association of Realtors terms of agreement, which includes that you agree if you sell your home that's listed on the MLS that you will pay the 3% and 3%. And that,
even if you don't even use an agent?
Even if you don't use an agent. Well, no, if you don't use an agent, this doesn't apply to you.
Okay, I was like, well, that's weird.
But you can't list it on the MLS if you don't have an agent. So if you list it, you must have an agent. It must be listed through an agent. And in order to do that, you agree to pay that 3 and 3. So now what they've deemed is that, and then the other thing is that if you think about it in this way, sellers agents and buyers agents, because they're commission based on the 3%, neither of them have an incentive to sell at a cheaper price.
Oh yeah, no. They're just like sell whatever. Yeah, they
or
want to sell
buyer,
at
or the
higher
buyer,
price.
the buyer's agent. They're not really going to go in there and negotiate down on anything because they know they get less money at the end of the day.
True.
So I was like, this is very frustrating. So anyway, so that was there was a lot more in depth in there, the keeping prices elevating high because they would just be like, oh yeah, take $1 off. Yeah. Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
But they found that this 3% and 3% was actually illegal as well. So now technically real estate agents can charge whatever they want, but think of it this way. In the world of high prices and easy accessible services, you're not going to be able to charge high percentage rates and actually get clients.
That's true.
So the thought is that this will actually drive a market wedge of there will be lower priced agents and higher priced agents. And hopefully some thought is maybe they'll even just go to straight, like, I'll sell your home for $2,400 or whatever, like not percentage based, just like a fixed
fixed commission cost. Yeah.
Yes.
That would make a lot more sense.
Yes. And so because this has just ripped out a major chunk of just like easy income for real estate agents, they're expecting that of real estate agents, they'll be like in the next 5 to 10 years, there'll be half as many out there right now as there are right now. Because you can't be like, oh yeah, you moved to the area, you want to buy a home, I'll be your agent, right?
Yeah.
Like now buyer's agents they'll probably be the ones that make 1%. And then the seller's agents are going to be the ones that make 2% or 3%. But yeah, so I thought this was very interesting and exciting news that I need to make sure that we share here because I know how closely you follow the market trends
of
definitely.
Everything. Because I do that. No, but that does make sense, right? Like, that's always seemed like a weird job to me anyway, because like it's a little bit nebulous about what some of the real estate agents actually do, right? Like, I don't like if all they're doing is like listing your house in a national database, that doesn't feel like a large percentage of money to do that, right? Like it feels like you're not actually like I can see the seller agent because those are the people that like take the tours and they like meet you and or like if you're buying, like you meet that person and then you go and like you go to visit houses with them. Like you're like actually working. They're showing you around stuff. They're, perhaps negotiating things on your behalf with the other people. So that person, that feels like a job that's like doing stuff, right? But like the other one's like, I listed the house. So this cool, like
so this is where you could see some market fragmentation start to occur of like full service agents, who like sure, some people may go, look, I'm willing to pay your 6% fee to you only because I don't want to lift a finger to get this house.
I mean,
versus like when we bought our house again, like I would have chosen a buyer's agent with a really low thing because all I need them to do is like read the legal document. I don't need them to find houses or arrange tours or anything like that. Like
I already did all that.
I can do all that online. So like I would have actively sought out somebody who wasn't a full service because it was going to save me money in the end.
Yeah, because you weren't going to utilize them anyway.
Exactly. So food for thought moving forward, and you'll have to put your real estate license dreams on hold.
That's right. I didn't have those anyway.
Oh, well, there you go.
I know a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
This is like a thing they do, and they do it for like a side job. Probably because they do, if they're just getting like fixed 3% all the time, no matter what, that would be why they're doing that.
Yes.
So you're going to weed out the part-timers already anyway and get like the serious people that actually work at the real estate like agency, right? Not like Jim that has a
who took his test and was like, I can sell real estate, whatever. I can help you. You're like, no.
Yeah, he took the class, took the test. He sells like a couple houses a year, right?
For like friends and family.
Yeah, right. Like sold my Uncle Jim's house and like, all that stuff. Like That is interesting. There you go. Useful something. Missouri. One thing. You get one thing so far.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do have a haiku.
Oh,
I do have a haiku to close us out.
There we go.
Okay.
All weekend.
Okay.
He's been denying that it existed. So he probably just wrote it 5 minutes ago.
Frantically wrote. So I was challenged last week to write a haiku about Tom Bombadil using a Yiddish word.
Okay.
This not so easy.
No, I can't imagine not.
Okay. And so I had done a lot of work to find words to fit in. So we'll see how this goes, actually. I just had to put everything together.
Okay.
So I had the research done and just didn't put it in. So
the final draft was not finalized.
No, it was not. So okay, and I hope I'm actually using this word right. Like, I'm also like really worried that. Yeah. It doesn't sound like it sounds. Okay, so I'm gonna say it. And okay, so this is my haiku of Tom Bombadil with a Yiddish word.
All right,
Mensch of the woodlands. Tom's laughter echoes brightly. Nature's song, his heart.
Very lovely. There we go.
I might be a bit strong starting out with Mensch.
It's a bit of a harsh start, but it fits though, right? It tracks. It's fine.
And it's one of those where like Mensch, it does not sound like a positive word.
That's true.
That's what makes it hard. And I didn't, but it's about like somebody with honor, integrity, or whatever. Like it's actually a very good positive thing, but it doesn't sound
like a bit harsh,
Mensch.
right? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well,
so it could still be further workshopped on that to find a better, more fitting term. But anyway,
it's all right.
That's that.
All right.
Okay. Well, we have yet wandered and woven our way through another time.
Kablam.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.